All right, guys, well, this week's mission, we're actually going to try and tackle the issue of paying down revolving debt. And the question is, which method is the most efficient way to pay down revolving debt?
All right, Robert, that's a great question, Brian. And as you know, we have a tool that we can use that helps us utilize the most two popular approaches. So why don't we go ahead and bring up the tool and take a look and see which is most beneficial.
Sounds good, eh? Why don't we just pull up the software and see what we got? All right, so we have for our clients a car loan, an Amex card, a MasterCard, a Nordstrom's card, and a Chase card. So Eddie, why don't you walk us through the numbers and let us know what we got?
All right, Brian, let's take a look here. Let's see. For this particular client, the car loan, they've got about $24,000. They've got various cards ranging from $2,500 to $23,000. Obviously, those have substantially higher interest rates, ranging, 16% to 27%. That is a lot of interest. So why don't we take a look? Their minimum payment is $1,904. We know we're not paying it off anytime soon if we just pay the minimum payments, and that's how we pay a ton of extra interest. Within their budget, we think they can actually pay an additional $300. So let's take a look and see which method actually will prove to be the better method. All right, so we're paying the extra $300. Now, Brian, we know of the two different types of strategies, the Snowball being the lowest balance first. So you want to kind of explain what that strategy looks like?
Sure. The Snowball method is where we pay off the lowest balance first. So this is a great psychological win for people because they're paying off some of these debts and they actually see results. So they're getting some of those debts erased, and it's small wins over time.
Of course, Brian, we know that paying off debt can be an emotional thing, but is it necessarily the best way to save money? Why don't you tell us about the Avalanche method too?
The Avalanche method is where we look at the debts that have the highest interest rate, and we want to systematically pay those off first in order to pay the least amount of interest possible.
Let's go to the whiteboard and see which turns out to be most advantageous.
Let's take a look at the Snowball method and see how that works out for our clients. Now, if we apply that method, it looks like we will pay total interest of $14,942. And not only that, we will have all the debts paid off in 35 months. Now, of course, applying this method gives us the big emotional win that you wrote there. So now let's take a quick look at the Avalanche method. Now again, the Avalanche method, we're going to pay off the debts that have the highest interest rate. So the theory behind this is if we do that, we will pay less in interest over the lifetime. Now, when we apply that method, our total interest paid is $13,998. And we'll have all the debts paid off in 34 months.
All right, Brian, so just as we discussed, it looks like if we use the Avalanche method, we are going to pay less interest. If we do the Snowball, we pay a little bit more interest, but really I guess what we need to determine for every client is which system suits them, because as we know, paying off debt can be emotional, and to see those little victories along the way, getting less bills along the way, may prove to be more impactful.